Hello, today we'll be looking at RAG concepts in artificial intelligence. Now, the question is, who is this video for? Should you listen to me or just scroll past? Well, this video is basically for people who aspire to build artificial intelligence model at any point in time. Perhaps you want to integrate into an LLM or interact with platforms like OpenAI or Gemini, then this video is for you. And why is this important? Yes, I know that something that we've all been used to so far is generative AI. We go to platforms like ChatGPT, input prompts, and before you know, we get responses. But by the time you want to start dealing with organizations' interaction, it gets more complex. In other words, you don't just expect to just put in the prompt just like that and something would happen. Level of things, level of information that you need to break down in order for you to be effectively communicating with any of these models out there. Okay, so who is this video not for? If you are currently just a person who use AI for research, you go to any Gen AI, you input your prompt, you upload your file, and everything is fine, pretty much you can just scroll past this video. But if you want more than that, then you can listen to me and see furthermore how you can interact with this generative AI and their endpoints. Okay, so now what is RAG? The term RAG stands for retrieval-augmented generation. I'll break it down. What does that mean? When you hear the term retrieval-augmented generation, what do you have to do with that? Well, in real sense, when you need to build anything that has to do with business knowledge, you have things like PDF, you have Word documents, you have pictures, you have Excel spreadsheets, you have so many things. All right. So, and you need to be able to tell your large language model where those information are and how they can interact with those information. Because normally, if you go to ChatGPT right now, you can just chat, put in your prompt, and boom, you get responses. If you don't give it more context, it may just answer you randomly based on the information available out there. But what RAG allows you to do is you could map some level of business knowledge and give it to the AI to consume at every point in time. And of course, there are modern concepts now that can be used. For example, there's MCP, which we'll talk later, but right now, the focus right now is how you can use RAG to manage and create database that artificial intelligence can interact with. For us to really get a grip of what I am trying to say, we're going to try to demonstrate it. Now, when we look at the concept RAG, there are a couple of layers that we need to pay attention to. The first layer is your document layer. So you can more or less just have, say, your document layer. This could be your PDF, it could be Excel, it could be normal docs, all right, whatever it is, you could have all of those in here. Okay, these are things you're likely to have, especially when you're working with organization. You're likely to have something like all these files just sitting somewhere, but you need information to get into the AI. The next question is, naturally, when you have files like this, some may be very voluminous, which means they are larger. Some may even be 500 pages, 1,000 pages, as the case may be. All of these things are very, very large. And there is no way you can send those large files to the model and the model will take it just like that, because they have like the token they can take at a particular point in time. So all you can do is to break down those documents into chunks, all right? And that is where our chunk processing comes in play. So the next stage you need to do here is to kind of like have your chunk data, and your chunk data can either be it can be any amount. So you could say, just imagine you grab one document and you say, look, split this document into 1,000 chunks. So what is going to happen is that the compiler or the processor would help you to break down your document into multiple pages. And that's how to think about it. Just imagine you have 100 pages. Instead of sending those 100 pages to the AI at once, just imagine you could break it down into maybe 10 pages. That's, you get 10 different documents when you divide it into 10. And that's what this process is all about. So you kind of like chunk your data, right? You break your data into chunks, so these chunks can be as many number as possible. So we can just duplicate this. We can keep a copy, just duplicate as many as you want. Then of course this leads to, we get from here, I need the arrow, just move from here to here. Okay, now when you have your chunks, which means when you have your multiple pages, the next question is, okay, so can you send that to the large language model just like that? The question is, or the answer could be yes, you can. But in real sense, that's not effective. So oftentimes you want to convert it into vector-like data. And what are vector-like data? You need to compile them into numbers, so that at the end of the day, you have something that the AI can really just look at patterns beyond just the text. And this is where embeddings comes in. So with your embedding, you can embed your data, compile it, and at the end of the day, you get your vector data. And for us to do that, which of course will lead us to the next layer. So the next layer is going to be that we embed our data and store the vector in a vector database. Let me go for orange this time around. So this time around, we're going to have a vector database, or vector DB. So in this vector DB, we're going to still have similar things. So these chunks are kind of things that you're going to have. So just think of it, you have your PDF, you broke them down into multiple pages. Then from multiple pages, you then convert them into vector database. Now, the vector database can then be stored in platforms like Pinecone. There are a lot of vector databases, but in real sense, you can store it with any of your choice, but just make sure that at the beginning, you're also considering the cost of the database that you need to amount for at the end of the day, so that you don't end up investing in something that would take a lot of your money. Now, let's take a look at what we have from the screen. You have your PDF, you break them down into chunks. From there, you convert them into vector database. So we have one more step. And the last step that we have is that through this segment, I think here we can then go for green. From here, we can then search through the vector database. So we can go ahead and just search vector DB. Okay, so now from here, we can then begin to look at patterns and begin to also do the query through our model. And if you look at what we have here, it's more like a 4-layer kind of thing. You have your PDF file from the organization, you break them into chunks, you save them in a vector DB, and that's after you've embedded them and converted them into vector data. And you can then begin to search the DB and listen to patterns. For the past couple of lessons that we've had, we've tried to build a project on AI chatbots. And part of the premise of that AI chatbot is to ensure that we're able to, in real time, get the business knowledge and be able to respond to customers in real time. We know that some of the issues that we have with existing chatbot is that they get pretty outdated on time. But with these kind of interface or this kind of implementation, we can have a process that just gives us the visibility of what we want, and we can always just bring in PDF here at any point in time. Let's even say for an instance or for some reason we don't even want PDF anymore, we can plug this into an existing database that gets real-time data, real-time information, and we're able to break them into chunk, save them into vector DB, and search them all the time. Now, when does this search happen? Just imagine when a customer comes and say, I want XYZ product, or what are the products available. If I am to just explain how that is going to work, when the AI tries to search this, the AI won't just go to the model and just randomly think of what to say. The AI first will search for pattern within the vector database. Then the response that comes from this pattern, the AI will then use its creativity to then output something that sounds more native, more human-like to the customer. And that is where this really comes in. And you can use this concept to create any AI model for yourself. Any project, you can use the same model. And this is where our project is becoming very interesting. If you haven't subscribed or haven't been following this very tutorial, all you need to do is just start from the beginning, check the playlist, check it out, and let's see how we can catch you up with all of these things that are being taught. The cool thing is we are entering into the phase that will really tie all of these things together. While I have explained all these things theoretically, we're going to try it out in the next lesson, and I can't wait to see you there. If you haven't joined my AI Playbook community, just check the link attached to this video so that you can be part of this community. And of course, you can share this video with any of your friends that you think is interested in artificial intelligence. Thank you so much. And again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified every time we release a new tip. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.